Mr. Ante, continue on. That was going to be my line of questioning, so please continue.
Okay, so we've, based on this recent work of effective dates, this is something that we've seen over years.
When did you tell VBA that the improper effective dates were the #1 issue?
In August of 22, I was invited to their rollout implementation conference in Houston, and we were asked to provide the IG's concerns, and our very first talking point was effective dates. And we were told that, yes, we're going to train effective dates, we know it's important, and...
This is one of the major causes of this blow-up, I'm going to assume. So
Yes.
how do we fix this?
So three things that me and my directors have brainstormed. I'm not advocating one or the other. It's a choice of the department. The first is they could simplify the process of scenarios that govern effective dates. Instead of having all of these different levels of rules to govern effective dates, you could say the date you filed a claim and when a law changed, right? You could simplify that. I think the pros to that, I think you'd see a better processing by VBA. The cons, I think you would get pushback from VSOs and veterans saying that, just because it's complicated doesn't mean we don't do it. The second is automation. I've just created a division in the last year that looks solely at VBA's automation. I can tell you they're not there yet. And one thing that we see with automation is the more complicated the business process is, the more difficult they are having to automate. And the third is what we have recommended is more effective training and oversight. And I know that sounds like a broken record, but as we have seen, training was not effective. It makes sense to have sound training so when these issues like the PACT Act come, or new Agent Orange presumptives come, or whenever somebody decides to change what benefit we're going to give veterans, that training has to be updated, it has to be adequate, and it has to be assessed.
Training, yes, absolutely. Ms. Tan, how is the VA receiving that? And I understand there's a challenge with when the digital signature inside the VA, we didn't even have to walk down that road right now, but the VA has received the Inspector General's report. Is there any adoption plan ahead of these effective dates?
Absolutely. We've actually already implemented several of their recommendations, at least 3 of them. So we worked to update our effective date builder tool in VBMS so that...
Solve that problem?
Does it solve
the PACT Act problem that we're running into?
It does assist because it addresses things like the intent to file, the liberalizing law, and the terror activity. So that was one of OIG's recommendations, which we did implement earlier this month. We are in the process of completing the job aid that they recommended, and we also referenced the outdated evaluation tool builder that was on our intranet page where all of our PACT Act resources are housed, so that it notes that that's historical, so people will not be using that. And we are looking at the evaluation of our training as OIG.
Inevitably, the VA is going to make the decision on what the effective date, and the VSOs and everyone else is going to have to go with it.
Yeah,
kicking and screaming. There's going to have to be a decision made by the VA.
Yes, sir. And we consistently look at how do we improve or simplify our processes, as Mr. Arante mentioned, based off feedback and things of that nature. So effective dates are complex. It's hard work, and that's why we have humans in that process. If we could automate things end to end, we would. We can't. We know we need subject matter experts and human intervention in this process. There is a lot to unpack for our claims processors, but as Mr. Arante said, PACT Act didn't change how we apply effective dates. It's just new information and people applying them consistently to the most advantageous available to the veteran under the law.
Okay, Ms. Gilson, did we do, this may be a Mr. Arante question, but did we do like a forensic audit on the amount of money spent over the past 5-10 years to make sure that we are not, again, we're trending in the wrong direction. Are we looking back on our numbers saying, hey, look, we're not making those exact same overpayment or underpayments and not replicating our mistakes? I understand the expansiveness of the VA, but as we know, we're missing something if we're spending over $1 billion in overpayments. And what is the comparative analysis that we're doing in order to fix it? And then how are we looking for 25? Are we already projected to spend more than we did in 24? I just threw a lot at you, I apologize.
No, that's fine, thank you. So a couple answers to your question here. Regarding the individualized tracking and trending of errors and how do we correct those and make them better. The Office of Financial Management does not do each's reviews on the payments that go out. So we take a review holistically at the summary level. Well, maybe that's the case. However, what we do within the Office of Financial Management is when we receive the payment information from our business lines, we are trusting, we are relying on the controls in place within that business line to make sure that payment is accurate. From the Office of Financial Management's perspective, we review the pay file to make sure that the accounting is correct, that the money is actually in the proper account to make those payments, that the time of the payment is right, that the program is correct. We are accountants, and we do not have adjudicators on the staff. If we did, we would need to reopen every single claim that came through to validate that. And
Well,
we don't.
we're $1 billion in the hole. When are we going to start taking a look at that? And I'm not beating you up. This is me talking out, okay? I mean, I don't know how far down the track it has to go before somebody says, yeah, that's probably a good idea, which I think it's past time. I'm well over. Mr. McGarvey, I apologize. You all right with that? Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate that. So again, from the accounting perspective, we review to make sure that everything is appropriate and interfaces to Treasury for payment. My office also does a review of fraud, waste, and abuse types of situations. We have a tremendous partnership with our colleagues within the Office of Inspector General when we identify fraud around payments to make sure that we rectify that veteran immediately. We make them whole. In many cases, we can reissue payments same day when we get a call saying, hey, I didn't get my payment. When we identify that there's fraud within, scammers who are changing bank accounts without veterans' information or without veterans' knowledge, we do engage the Office of Inspector General to investigate those areas and identify, further action taken.
That's when you see it. I mean, then the event has already happened. We need to we're trying to stop it beforehand.
Correct. And so we do have some tools and techniques that we have available where we are getting more proactively involved in preventing fraud. We're using machine learning and artificial intelligence and detailed analytics to get to...
This is where the department needs to come to Congress and say, we have to have the money to implement this type of software, this artificial intelligence, machine learning. You have to tell us that. Because right now we're just seeing the numbers, and they're not good, but we're all in to help you. And again, this problem's been going on for, I'm going to make the assumption for decades, and let's fix it right here. We're ready, okay? I'm well over, Mr. McGarvey. Okay. Go ahead, finish.
I think I'm pretty much
Okay,
done.
all right. So, Mr. McGarvey, I'm sorry, sir, I recognize you.